The Introductory Notes for Too Much World at Once by Billy Collins, directed by Adam Quayle from Box of Tricks Theatre Company. Audio description is provided by Hear the Picture, Dan Parr Audio Describing, and audio description consultancy from Ben Wilson. Welcome to this world. This world could be a version of the world you inhabit, certainly not dissimilar, just a little shifted, or maybe it's a future of your world that's near or that's distant, and maybe that's down to the choices of all that inhabit your planet. Maybe this world is a possibility, a passing place, a world that took a different path, a world where Mother Nature is fighting back. There is hope in this world as we hope there is in yours. This is a world that I inhabit. I will fly you, land you, glide you and guide you. You can trust me as I trust you. I know this story. I know where to take you. I won't get in the way. This story speaks for itself, but no, I'm always there, like a bird on your shoulder, chirping in from time to time when I'm needed. I will start with the space where the inhabitants and creatures will tell this story. It's important to say this isn't a naturalistic setting, it's representative of many locations. These are locations me and my ancestors have travelled to and lived in for hundreds of years. It's important to say the majority of this story could take place in any town, but this version has landed in the northwest of England, unspecified but clear through the accented voices of the characters you will meet. Most of the locations we visit exist in this town. One, however, is thousands of miles away in the South Atlantic, which is aptly named after the majority of its inhabitants, Bird Island. A zoological field assistant is based here for the duration of the story. We will fly there from time to time to check on her before swiftly returning to the northwest of England to monitor 3 other characters. Their story is told in 3 main locations: a woodland where we can spy from the branches of the tall trees behind the leaves, a broken down barn where we can perch on the rafters and listen to 2 teenagers camped out making urgent plans, and finally an old house sinking, slowly breaking and cracking, is owned by a mother and teacher. We also briefly visit her school classroom, but not for long. This story and these locations are conjured up and played out on a central circular platform made from chipboard, raised about a foot off the ground. All the action will take place on this platform. This structure allows conversations in different locations to play out at the same time. Sometimes we can be on Bird Island with one character and in the barn with other characters simultaneously, the 2 different conversations cutting in and out of each other, flying from one to the other with speed and fluidity. The texture on the chipboard platform is rough and raised, covered in what appears to be dried bird excrement, which is what the majority of the rocks and cliffs of Bird Island are caked in. The outer edge of the platform is fragmented, eroding away from the main central structure, maybe reflecting eroding cliffs with sea stacks, or maybe riverbanks falling away into the river. The fractured ring creates mini platforms, some sunken and lower, closer to the ground, some the same level as the main platform, and one at the very back in the middle is risen, about 6 inches higher than the main platform. This provides a place for characters to take attention and focus, to transfix us and maybe even transform. On the left of the main structure, towards the back, if we imagined the circular structure was a compass, it would be northwest. There is a tall stack of wooden crates, small chest of drawers, broken chairs, fractured furniture and other wooden objects crashed together in a pile, splintered and shattered. A broken wooden frame of a window is standing tallest next to the pile, slightly to the right. The window could represent the old house I told you of before, crumbling almost beyond repair. The characters will pull objects from this pile to assist the storytelling. A table and 2 chairs will be pulled and placed to create a kitchen. Books will be grabbed from the crates to read, a photo frame picked up and studied, old glass lanterns to provide light in the dark, an old radio which looks broken will be switched on and miraculously make noise. The characters have the power to mould this space to whatever they desire, effortlessly and smoothly. It's important to mention that through this story there is a feeling of impending action. Something is coming, a response, a reaction, maybe a change. Nature always finds a way, even in the darkest of places. A storm. The broken crates, wood, chairs, tables, furniture from our perspective could have been formed by a swirling surge of wind, a hurricane, a tornado ripping through this world. And suspended above the central platform, thrown up there by a violent gust, are pieces of shattered furniture, chair legs, splintered wood of all shapes and sizes, hanging down above the platform like a nature-made chandelier. The space expands out from this central structure, but this is not active space. Black floor stretches out and is stopped by long black curtains which give a boundary. But when the characters step off the wooden structure and enter this space, they quickly dissolve and dissipate, continuing their narratives away from our attention. The storytellers who will bring this world to life will now introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Ewan. I'm a 22-year-old, 5'10", white male with blue eyes and dark blonde hair. I will be playing Ellis, who's a 14-year-old boy. Ellis has a Scottish accent, just like myself, and as he is younger than I am, his voice sits in a slightly higher place than my own. For example, he might say, "Hi, I'm Ellis." He's a confident, expressive boy who's good at reading people. His movement quality is direct, light, and sustained. He loves reading poetry and fantasizes about his future.
We see Ellis in school uniform at the start of the story, with a multicoloured puffer jacket with Aztec pattern, fluorescent yellows, pinks and greens. Under this is a white school shirt and tie with rolled up grey school trousers and black Doc Marten boots. Later we see him in a light blue tie-dye t-shirt. His hands are covered in silver rings and bracelets, his nails are painted turquoise, and he has a single silver hoop in his left ear. Very alternative. We then have a family. Fiona, the mother, and her 2 children. Cleo, the oldest, and her younger brother, Noble.
Hello, I'm Alexandra Matthey, and I play Fiona. I'm 5'4" tall, of average strong build, and have dark brown hair cut in a classic chin-level bob with a fringe. Fiona is a mother of 2, Cleo, 23, and Noble, 15, and a teacher of double science at the local secondary school. She grew up in this place and was born in the same house as she now lives in. We're set in the northwest, so I will sound less RP than I do now. As in, I see Fiona as a disciplined, decisive and capable person who likes to be in control. She takes up space in the world with confidence and has a quite speedy rhythm, underpinned with a certain degree of tension. If you shook her hand, it would be firm and warm.
Fiona has a smart, casual look. When we first meet her during a class at school, she wears an aubergine cardigan, flowery patterned scarf and smart black trousers that stop above the ankle, with brown slip-on leather shoes. Later at home, we see her in a baby pink, baggy, bat-winged shirt.
Hiya, I'm Evie. I'm in my early 20s. I'm 5'5", white, and have long brown curly hair. I'm playing Cleo, who is the older sister of Noble. She is also a zoological field assistant whose scenes take place solely on Bird Island, South Georgia, where it is around 0 degrees in July. She is direct, ambitious, intelligent, driven, and not afraid to speak the truth, although she has a tendency to overthink. She loves her brother very much.
Cleo is based on Bird Island, over 7,000 miles away in the South Atlantic. Her clothing reflects the cold environment there. Thick, waterproof khaki green jacket, under which she wears a tight red fleece, thick grey waterproof salopette-like trousers and heavy-duty walking boots. She has a neck buff and woolen hat.
I'm Paddy. I'm 5'9", I have an athletic build, light brown hair, blue eyes and pale skin. I'll be playing Noble, who sounds a bit more like this. The story starts on his 15th birthday. He's clean shaven and tends to keep himself to himself.
At the start of the story, we find Noble in a school uniform, grey trousers, white shirt and tie, but also a black hoodie. Now, I've mentioned actions and reactions, the world and nature fighting back with elements through wind, water and crumbling earth, but there's another transformation that's more magical. Real but mythical. Forceful but ethereal. Painful but euphoric. Noble transforms into a bird. Not metaphorically, but literally into a bird. A starling specifically. The best bird in my opinion, but I am slightly biased. His black hoodie supports this transformation. His beautiful iridescent wings unfolding out of the fabric, his hood covered in iridescent feathers pulled over his head, and half of his face becomes a pointed beak with his wide eyes flickering on the side. His physicality cracks, breaks, bends and snaps into place and shape. His movements jerky and faster than any human movement. The transformation is full-formed and precise. He becomes a bird. There is a fifth character, unnamed and collective. At times multiple voices in unison, sometimes a single voice, sometimes two. The storytellers gather collectively to become a chorus, a voice for the reactive action taking place. Maybe it's Mother Nature herself, maybe it's not that clear-cut. This character is another guide describing the thoughts of the voiceless world. Here's a brief example of how the chorus will sound.
He woke up.
He woke up.
He woke up on his 15th birthday,
And the world was not as he had left it.
going to bed the night before.
He knew.
He knew. He knew this without knowing it.
Lovely to meet you, my chicks. I've got to fly. I'll be back to check on you shortly.